Hi, everybody. It is August 2021. Yeah, the reason why I want people to see the big picture, especially as it concerns the weather being used as a weapon all over. And I don't think there are many who actually know that on a daily basis, people are getting flooded out, burned out. Communities are getting literally destroyed, bridges collapsing, power outages, of course, trees collapsing on cars, on homes, and yeah, people are dying. It is happening on a daily basis. They have ramped up the use of weather as a weapon. Mainstream media usually just focuses on the most extreme and usually focuses on the biggest city that gets hit. So now we have Hurricane Henri heading towards the northeast. But let me just first show you, the chaos that is all over the United States, all over the world. But I'm focusing on the United States because I'm an American. It is terrific. The suffering is terrific.
Hi everyone, we're here at Heidi's Village, one of our animal welfare partners who help lend us kennel space when we are over capacity, which we are feeling right now. And we have some really sweet faces to introduce you to. As you guys probably know, our emergency response team just came home from Gila Bend where they experienced devastating floods. We brought back with us 6 adult dogs, 10 puppies, and a parrot, all of whom are looking for a temporary foster until their owners can get back on their feet. Their owners have lost everything in this flood. This is Fiera. She's a 10-year-old Bulldogs mix, just an absolute joy. Again, she's just looking for a couch for the next 60 to 90 days until she can be reunited with her owners. So this is Jasper, a 13-year-old Queensland heeler. He's kind of a particular guy. He doesn't really want to go to a home with other dogs or cats or children, but he could go to a home with his friends Ashton, who's a 7-year-old Chihuahua, and Chiquita, our little chunky 11-year-old Chihuahua. They are all from the same home, but they can also go to a foster home separately, again, just looking for short-term foster. I have magically appeared here at Sunny Slope, you guys, in our maternity suites where I am with Miley, another survivor of the Gila Bend floods. And look at these little angels. She has 10 of them. I'm calling them Miley's minis. These guys are all looking for a foster home together. The great thing about these cases, you guys, is that Miley is going to do all of the work. You just have to have a room in your house where she can nurse her puppies and take care of them. If you don't come and foster these little guys, you are completely insane. Again, little flood victims looking for foster until they can be weaned from their mama. So if you're interested in fostering Miley and her minis, please reach out.
Okay, if you have the ability, a home, generally people who live in apartments can't do this, but this is happening all over. It's happening in California. It's happening in North Carolina now. It's happening in Arizona. It is happening all over. So don't wait. I mean, if you can help out, call your animal shelters. Because most animal shelters now in the country, yeah, I did the research, are full to capacity. So full that I was astounded at how many are looking for foster homes. Many are declaring an emergency just for the animal shelters. So, yeah, if you can help out, don't wait. Don't, oh, I'll see it on the news if they need help. You may miss that segment. Just call them. See what you can do to help out. So, yeah, the flooding has been tremendous just this past week, but it was tremendous last week and the week before that, and the week before that, and the week before that. We've got an awful lot of people who are desperate for help. This in Northern Virginia. This was from Tropical Storm Fred. And these storms, wow, it's interesting how they never, ever let up. They used to dissipate when they made landfall, but no longer. Now, they just keep on going, sometimes right on into Canada. So, had flooding and chaos in Northern Virginia, trees down. This man thought, it was just a crack of the limb, and then woke up and found, oh, okay, power outages because of the trees down. And I am doing this for Hurricane Henri. Do not think, you guys up northeast, all the way from Long Island. Yeah, I lived on Long Island, so that's how they say it, Long Island. All the way up to Maine. Be prepared for power outages, trees coming down, hitting your home, hitting your cars, taking out power lines, flooding. And, well, now you just get a whole poo-poo platter with these weather fronts. Don't rule out tornadoes. So, yep. Be prepared. This was in the city of Rome, New York.
Gone, but the cleanup, the aftermath of all the flooding is still a big factor for many communities.
Like Rome, where the mayor declared a state of emergency, News Channel 9's Callahan Marshall was there today to see the troubles they're facing now.
It's a common sound around town. Neighbors on River Street pumping out their basements less than 24 hours after getting slammed with rain. Shannon Vargas, her husband, and 2 kids have 6 years worth of memories in their home.
We felt safe in our house. And then it was just all ripped away because of a really bad rainstorm.
They were asked to leave because of all the water damage with no idea if they'll ever be able to come back. Right up the street and around the corner, the owner of Tangle's Salon, cleaning up a big mess.
We came in, we're bleaching everything down for right now until we can figure out what we're going to have to do for a more permanent option because we have a lot of water damage.
Other parts of Rome are underwater near the Mohawk River. The mayor is doing damage control.
We're going to be in disaster recovery, I would think, for the rest of the weekend at least. We need to help people get back to their homes, but that's going to be an arduous process. After that, we'll assess. We're looking at any financial assistance that we might be able to get for some of these residents.
For the Vargas family, they feel like their life has been turned upside down.
It's stressful. My anxiety is definitely through the roof. I have no clue. I mean, it's not the best area, but we lived here. We could afford it. And we're looking at places that are almost twice as much here for what we got here.
And that is what is taking place. So, the people who live in apartments or homes, when they get destroyed by weather being used as a weapon, and if you roll your eyes, you're simply giving a communication out to the world that you're clueless, you're ignorant, and that is not something to be proud of. So many people are now having to move, and they can't afford the rents. The city of Rome declare a state of emergency. Yep.
Afternoon, it's flooded East Dominic Street as well. These were some of the scenes that you saw yesterday. Fire crews carrying children from their homes in that knee-deep water. The mayor says they are going door to door in areas that were affected simply to get people out.
Okay. This is what rain now does all the time. You know, you might get a drizzle, which actually we now have in Montana. But I have to say that there was a thunderstorm with that lightning that is, you know, not lightning, but just sudden bursts of lighting up the sky or lighting up the clouds. And I understand the anxiety because I'm alone here on top of a mountain. There's no one I can call for help. So, for all of those who have experienced the consequences of weather being used as a weapon, when I hear that people now are scared when it rains or, you know, have really bad anxiety, I get it. I get it. So don't think that they're mentally ill. Think they are being triggered because of recent past experiences of trauma. West Hartford, New York, Connecticut.
West Hartford's residents are still trying to dry out after Tropical Storm Fred, and now another storm is coming. Neighborhood roads were underwater, cars got stuck, basements flooded.
Yes, so what is the city doing right now to try to avoid more issues when it comes to Henri this weekend? Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Mike Savino found out.
We've had tropical storms. I think we know what the routine is.
West Hartford's getting...
They think they know what the routine is. All right, we're experiencing weather like we've never experienced before, and no, I'm sorry, it is not climate change.
5 inches of rain Thursday in just a few hours, causing floods across town and forcing public works crew to shift their focus from storm prep to storm cleanup.
Obviously, the rain was a curveball.
Philip says most crews were able to shift back to Henri today. People we talked to were in the same mode.
My cousin's out now doing everything, so I just follow her lead.
We're going to get all that stuff off the deck. We have quite a bit of furniture out there.
Philip says his biggest concern is people not following advice and warnings from the town, specifically people trying to drive down flooded roads. If crews have to help drivers out of a jam, that can slow down cleanup. But Philip says the forecast calls for rain that the town can manage.
I don't think we're going to get the intensity rain that we got the other day.
From West Hartford, Mike Savino, Channel 3.
Why wouldn't you? Because this hurricane is coming right at you. This was a tropical storm. Well, where did it start? In Florida? Making its way all the way up to Connecticut. Now you have a hurricane coming, and it's literally coming right at you? Why would you possibly say that? Many people are getting hit over and over and over again. And unfortunately, you get hit once, don't think that's it, right? Once in a lifetime? Not anymore. Not when man is controlling the weather. North Carolina bridge washes away, and it sure did. So, can't play this. My hunch is I would get a copyright strike. But, voila, there it goes. So, if you happen to live in an area, let's say Long Island, because you're the first to get hit, and you have, you know, those little bridges that's your one way out to maybe do some shopping or whatever, you can't think that that bridge is going to be there after a weather event. Here is, you know, mainstream media, the flooding, the landslides, North Carolina, of course, a state of emergency. It's horrific what is taking place.
It's here in the Crusoe community of Haywood County where we're seeing scenes like this one as 7 people still remain missing and those crews are searching for them. This after 2 men were confirmed dead overnight on Wednesday. Samuel Hooper has lived here in Crusoe for 16 years.
It took everything we have. My car's up there in front, my other one's over yonder, and I've got another one up here. I had 3 vehicles on my home and everything.
Now this is what's left.
Trying to salvage what I can. You know, that's about it.
But what has remained untouched has great meaning to him.
My son-in-law and them bought me things just to keep. I did, they're here.
And he is one of the lucky ones.
They are Frank Mungo, 86 years old, of the Crusoe community, and Franklin McKenzie, 68 years old, of the Crusoe community.
A total of 4 people have been found dead, while 5 are still missing.
Drone and canine teams are assisting our ground and swift water rescue teams again today.
Emergency teams recalling the horrors of the last several days as they responded as quickly as possible.
They were drowning in phone calls while others were drowning in Crusoe. This is our community, and we want to be there to take care of our community.
Hundreds from across the state coming to help as those like Hooper wait for federal assistance.
And they need to come in and step and look at this, you know, and we have really lost everything.
Dozens of bridges have also been taken out by the storm. Crews here repairing some of those right now. Meanwhile, emergency services estimates hundreds of people have been displaced here in western North Carolina by those severe storms. Luckily, 13 people previously thought to have been missing have been accounted for, but the recovery work here, the sheriff says, is expected to take years.
Years, and people don't have years. What are these people to do? What are these people to do? And yes, I am, I don't mean to offend anyone, but those who are thinking that Jesus saves them while not saving others who, obviously are believers, I honestly don't even know what to think of that kind of thinking, but we are to do our very, very best to be the best people that we can possibly be, meaning morally the best people. We do what we can to, prepare and to try to avoid being one of the victims of this war that we are in. And if you're not a victim of that war, then being the best that you can possibly be is being like this man right here, doing everything that you can to help those who need it. Who need it. So, listening to this, the governor of North Carolina, yep. In the very end, he talks about how these storms, well, he didn't say new normal, but essentially that's what he was talking about because of climate change, of course. Climate change. Any adult who has not done the research at this point to find out if mainstream media, what they are saying, if it's true, then unfortunately you've handed your brain over. You've handed your brain over to mainstream media, and they do your thinking for you. It's obvious that we have lived. I've lived my entire life. I'm 62 years old with the lying from our government, with the corruption in our government, with mainstream media becoming a joke of journalists. They are the propaganda arm of our government. They get their script and they read it. You don't find investigative journalists in mainstream media anymore. That is obvious. Americans who want to deny that obvious are Americans so grossly ignorant, it's frightening. But the willful ignorance is killing us. And you need to do the research. And too bad if it interrupts like an hour or 2 hours of your streaming a Netflix show or wherever they watch these things. Because mature adults don't just live their life for their own pleasure, their own entertainment. You know, it's like kids needing to be entertained all the time. Well, we're unfortunately at a time, living a time, unprecedented, and living a time of great lying, manipulation, gaslighting, chaos and violence. So every adult is called to attend to this radical change, and radical changes do not come about naturally. Radical changes, and we have seen them certainly since 9/11, 2001. We have seen tyranny take hold. The radical changes taking place are engineered purposefully. You've got to ask why. Don't think any of this that we are experiencing in the United States is just an organic, changing and, well, this is the way life is going. It is deliberate. It's a war. So, here's the tracking of Hurricane Henri. Long Island, watch out. Long Island, watch out. But also Connecticut, New York City, Massachusetts, on up. Here's the, this is a live tracking of Hurricane Henri. There's no audio, and now, all of you guys in this area, watch out. Be ready. If you have anything that you can do, especially, Long Islanders, to try to stave off any flooding of your homes and cars, do it. Because this is what we are seeing, even just with a rain event. But I am worried, because the direct hit is going to be, pretty much all of Long Island. They were talking about areas, Riverhead, which, is not the, Riverhead is on the other side of Long Island. It's on the Long Island Sound. But they were talking about all of these places, 75 mile per hour winds, 90 mile per hour gusts. And yeah, I was looking at this early this morning, like, I don't know what time it was, 1 o'clock. And boy, it was pretty intense in terms of the moisture that has filled up Hurricane Henri. And I'm going to show you, this hurricane has been sitting there. When do we get hurricanes that develop off the coast of the United States? When did we ever get hurricanes that sit off the coast of Mexico? There are certainly an awful lot of new changes that are not occurring because of climate change. They are occurring because man is controlling weather. So, because of the increase of the use of weather and the increase of using weather with such destructive force, and I do have a lot of those videos on my channel. That's why I feel the anxiety for all of you. But what I am saying is, just please don't take lightly. Now, could this all fizzle out? Yeah, it could. That's why everything is so unpredictable, and there's nothing that you can count on. That's what I would love to see, it fizzle out. But they have the technology to bring in a destructive force, and you will still believe that it was a hurricane. So, oh man, Governor Baker, Massachusetts, activates National Guard.
Statewide plans for safety during the storm.
Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo is live for us in Springfield now with more. Audrey?
Governor Baker has activated 1,000 members of the National Guard ahead of Henri. State emergency management officials say that they're concerned that small ponds, waterways, streams like this one, even out here in Western Mass, could flood from Sunday into Monday. And they say that the safest thing that you can do, both to help emergency crews and keep yourself out of harm's way, is to also keep yourself off the roads. Emergency crews throughout the state already had their hands full Thursday, rescuing people who drove on flooded roadways. With the potential for heavy rains from the storm Henri, Governor Charlie Baker has activated the National Guard, and he's urging extreme caution for everyone else.
The simple point here is we really would like everybody to be off the roads at the height of the storm, which will probably last all day Sunday and through until the early part of Monday.
In addition to clearing debris and dealing with flooding, Baker says emergency crews could be joined by power crews shortly after the rains and wind pass.
The storm could knock out power for somewhere between 100,000 and 300,000 residents based on the current estimates.
Western Mass News spoke with Tom Lyons with the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, or MEMA, about those current estimates for the storm. Right now, the Cape and Rhode Island are expected to get the worst, but Lyons is concerned the storm could move west.
This is actually going to involve central and western Massachusetts more than we thought it would.
Because of this, Lyons says the MEMA Center in Agawam will be activated on Saturday.
All righty. This is Hurricane Henri. Do you see that? Well, do you see that it's a headless person flexing a muscle right here? Is this the eye of the storm? You see the faded out cloud, or what might develop into a eye. No, it's not, but it sure does look like it's flexing its muscle. Okay, those of you who are not, let's say, wow, I would, at this point, I guess 20 and younger, know what a hurricane looks like. Does that look like a hurricane to you? Okay. And yes, I did get a lot of comments from people. They were talking about Dabu's video. The blasts we've seen over and over again. I'll show you a blast that took place hours after Dabu posted his video. But this is Hurricane Grace that apparently hit Mexico twice. Mexico having a whole lot of flooding once again. So, yeah, you can't play around. Not when they have these weapons. No, not a hurricane. Now, they got it formed, into something that looked like a hurricane yesterday, but man controlling weather, well, it breaks apart. And this is breaking apart. And if you can see, if you stop it and then just incrementally move it along manually, you can see the signatures. Okay, the straight-edged lines. It's being hit with frequencies. And my manual's not working. Great. So I don't like this because that thing moves out. But this is not a hurricane, okay? This is manufactured cloud. Sitting over the ocean, they can pull up an awful lot of moisture into that cloud, and then they let it rip. That's exactly what they did. This Henri, before it was even named, was sitting there for days. I even mentioned it in a video a couple of days ago. What is this thing? When I was looking at Fred and then Grace, and then I noticed another blob of manufactured cloud. Well, Henri. It's really unfortunate that people just don't want to listen anymore. So, this right-angled, that is not Mother Nature. This is not a hurricane. What do I have open here? All right, this is yesterday. This was hours after Dabu's video, which, let me show it to you. Oh, yeah, the FEMA operations that take place. North Carolina FEMA. All right. Approved $4.2 million to elevate flood-prone homes on the North Carolina coast. If you don't elevate, they will make sure you're out of there. You will not get flood insurance. You will be dropped by whoever holds your mortgage. And elevating will be very costly. So even though people have these mansions or, these homes right on the ocean, you cannot presume that they're wealthy. Do not presume, that they have money. You're looking at a nice house, but the economy has destroyed so many people. There's an awful lot of people who are living in nice homes, and they don't have the cash. They don't have the money. Their businesses could have been destroyed last year. So, and I say that because I see still judgment about people living in certain neighborhoods. You cannot presume that they can recover from being flooded out or having to elevate, and this will be forced upon them. They will not have a choice. And, this is also the mitigation, the FEMA mitigation. FEMA, by the way, is increasing its insurance wildly. Yep. They say it's the first change in decades. I don't think so, but flood insurance, especially if you're on the coast, is going to get so expensive. If you're in a flood-prone area, it's going to get so expensive. Anyway, this was Dabu's video.
This is Dabu 7. I want to share with you guys a very interesting find here, as it looks like we have a massive explosion of energy in the heart of Hurricane Henri. I want you to pay attention right here. Look at that. That is, without a doubt, a massive explosion of energy at the heart of a hurricane. And you were witnessing this off the satellite feeds. There it is again. You cannot reproduce that type of an event through the clouds and through the atmosphere without a massive release of energy. Hurricanes do not do this on their own. We have known that they are doing this. We've seen them cloud seed before hurricanes. We've seen them steering hurricanes. And we know that they have ionospheric heaters in places like Puerto Rico, where they can blast the center of a hurricane and they can charge it up with energy. You were witnessing with your own eyes off the satellite feed an explosion that took place and is rippling through the clouds in the cloud deck, completely circular. I mean, it looks like a bomb went off in there. And I'm telling you, it's an energy bomb, and they have just fueled this hurricane.
And he's right. He's absolutely right. So he posted this based on the comments I got sometime early afternoon yesterday. Okay, this I took at, it was 7:21 p.m., which for the East Coast, it was 9:21 p.m., Hurricane Henri, and I hope I magnified it enough so that you can see they did it again with an explosion. And yes, okay. Wrong one. Okay, come on. All right. Manufactured, quote-unquote, hurricane with a similar explosion. You can see the blast coming right through, and the ripple effect. It's like, you know, reversing the throw of a boulder and pushing it up. You see all of the cloud coming up. This is not natural. There is an energy explosion taking place. Hurricane Henri, they're filling it up with moisture, boy. So, having, you know, this thing didn't look like this, but it was sitting there. They just moved it a little bit closer to the coast. Then it was sitting there. Now they're literally just bringing in so much water. And yes, do the research. Wish I didn't lose my channel, but they can fill these clouds that are manufactured with moisture. So this was last night. This is Hurricane Grace flooding out Mexico. So look, guys, I really want you to take seriously. You guys up northeast, they're going to bring it on. You know, this is, you guys on Long Island, just make sure that you have, you know, what you need for a power outage. And make sure that your cars are away from trees. And this goes for everybody. Doesn't matter. Because now we have hurricanes inland developing. With, you know, almost every weather event brings hurricane winds. That's not to be questioned. Please, please reactivate your independent thinking. We need that. Really important. So they've picked up a tremendous amount of moisture, and they're going to unload it. They will unload it. Now, they already have the frequencies going right here. Let's see. College of DuPage. And this is not, You know, hurricanes never looked like this, okay? I just wish people would... Oh, well, I wish. Swear, it looks like they're flexing their muscles towards the northeast. Be safe. Be prepared. Look at this. You can tell that they are manufacturing cloud right here, South Carolina. Man, oh man, oh man. This is not the way clouds ever developed. And you know what that is? That is the nanotechnology that they use to manufacture cloud. Yes, nanobots creating stratus cloud. Yes, I do have some nanotechnology videos on my weather modification playlist on this channel, so. And all of these are nanobots. These little flecks, little flicks, little specks of cloud. No, that's not Mother Nature. These nanobots have just been poured into the atmosphere. Look at this thing. North Carolina. That is not Mother Nature. All right. Okay. I'm gone. Please do what you can to keep yourself safe.